What's up, everybody? What's up, Joe? What's up, Elko? What's up, Matt? I'm dressed in black, black, black. My name is Mac. No, this ain't the same door. This ain't the same door. This is the other door. The other one's over there. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing all right? Doing all right? How your mama doing? How your mama doing? How your daddy doing? We getting there, boys and girls. We getting there. We getting there. We getting there. So I get this door done. So once I get this door done, this door will be done. The other door's done. The grill's done. The trim's done. The roll pan's done. Then I got to grab the fenders. I got to do the fenders. Got to take the bumper off the truck and get it ready. Wednesday is supposed to be like 66 degrees. Saturday is supposed to be 67 degrees. But I can deal with 66, 67. So Wednesday, I'm going to see what's going to be like Wednesday. So we'll probably get them in the booth, get them ready, get them hung, get them hanging up, get everything ready, get everything wiped down. Shut the doors, tape the doors up, make sure everything's good and sealed up. And then probably just let it set until Saturday, because Saturday it says it's supposed to be like 67. It says it's supposed to be 68, 67 degrees Saturday. So if that's good, then I can turn the heat on, run the heat for about 30 minutes to knock the moisture out of the air. And then we can mix up some CRE 321 2K primer or epoxy. And we can mix it 2 to 1 to 1. We might even go 2 to 1 to 1.5 and make it a primer surfacer. And go ahead and spray the doors, the roll pan, the grill, shell, the trim, the bumper, and get all that stuff sprayed. And once we get all that stuff sprayed, it can set. And then what I can do is move some stuff around, and then get the truck in the booth, get all the parts back out of the booth, and then start dry sanding all the parts, and then go from there and get this thing ready. So I want to do a little clarification earlier. I told you that guy I met Saturday had like 150, 175 trucks. I misspoke a little bit. He has over 150 trucks and stuff like that. But there's some miscellaneous stuff in there too. But he has over 100 and some square bodies, plus or minus. What's up, JG? Where in the hell you been, man? Me too. Mop, mop, mop all day long. Mop, mop, mop while I sing my song. Yeah, so this is a 68 C10. So I'm sanding everything with 180, and then we're going to put some more primer on it, epoxy primer. Then we're going to dry sand it with 400 or 500, and then get it ready for paint. I guess. I don't know. Black. It's going to be black. Black. I'm dressed in black, black, black. His name is Mac, Mac, Mac. Making fudge. That sounds lovely. How many Ford lovers we got in here? If you like Fords, drop down in the comments. You a Ford lover. I got something I gotta tell you. Roger. You got Joe. So what year is the F100 with the round headlights? Is that a 73, 71, 72, 73 with the round headlights? What's up, Yancey? What's up, Yancey? Hey. I just had to give Yancey a round of applause. He dropped a comment. You told me a story, Yancey. You said, I don't never comment. You just commented. You commented. You just commented. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. 76. Hey, I hope I don't step too far. Hope I don't step too far. But everybody drop down in the comments. Everybody drop down in the comments. You still drop Ford stuff down in there. But let's drop down in the comments that Yancey Stevens, 6232. Let's give Yancey Stevens, 6232. Let's congratulate his daughter on his daughter got accepted to the school that she wanted to go to as well. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to put no more personal information out there. My son got accepted to UNC Chapel Hill. Out of 80,000 applicants, only 6,000 got picked. And my son got picked, and he's 17 years old, to go to UNC Chapel Hill as a linguistics and a math major, double majors. So let's give everybody Yancey Stevens, 6232. Let's give his daughter a round of applause. She got accepted to the school that she wanted to go to. Now that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to put no more of the little girl. She's not a little girl, but y'all know what I mean. I'm not going to put no more of her information out there. But I do know that she got accepted to the school because I've spoke to Mr. Yancey. I've spoke to him in private. And I just want to show my appreciation to let everybody else to show appreciation that y'all know what I mean, right? So, and I'm sure there's more people on here that watch me that their kids has got accepted. And if they did, let me know and I'll congratulate them too. And if it's your damn birthday, I'll sing you happy birthday too. So, I just know that, I just wanted to say that, because it feels good when you're 16, 17 years old and you make a huge accomplishment like that in your life. That's not to be took lightly. That's a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication for them to get where they get. So everybody out there that got where you wanted to get because you got, congratulations. But I do know I wanted to give Mr. Yancey. And because I want to do Mr. Yancey is because he dropped a comment. And he told me the other day he never comments. He commented. I know, right? And it's still 6:15. I know. Yeah. I know, it's still 6:15. I better put my mask on. Damn sanding police will be after me. And no, this is not the same door. Hey, congratulations, Joe. And no, this is not the same door. Appreciate that, Joe. It's not the same door. The other door's over there. This is the second door. Mop, all day long. Mop. Well, let's see that song. Woo. That's good, Mac. That's good. That's good. That's good. I need to get one of them fresh air hoods. Just maybe Santa Claus will bring me one. Little fat bastard. I hate wearing gloves. I can't feel. Oh. Daggone, Mac. Never thought of that. So you got to sand. You got to sand up in these. You got to sand up in here too. All in these cracks and crevices. All that's got to be sanded. All of it. All of it. What's up, cars? What's up, cars? All right, let me explain to you. Let me explain to you what I'm doing. So I'm blocking with this 180. And once you block all guide coat, it's flat, all right? Well, son of a gun, I just threw that son of a gun on the damn floor. All right, so I'm blocking in a crosshatch pattern. So I'm going this way, and then I'm going back the other way. So I'm doing like the letter X, right? And you just keep block sanding. I'm not really worried about the body line right now. I'll do that the next step when I dry sand it in 400, I run a piece of tape so I don't lose my edge. Now I ain't gonna go across my edge with the block, but you wanna try to stay off your edges, off your corners and your sharp lines. You don't wanna lose your body lines, right? So all that's been done already. So, just keep blocking in an X pattern until all the guide coat's gone. Now, if you block, and you end up with a spot, let's just say you end up with a spot that is very predominant and it doesn't, okay, like right here, look. See that right there? I got two spots right there, like two freckles, right? I got two freckles. And that right there will probably block out, right? But you don't want to get too crazy, because if you start to blocking to get them out, what you're going to do is you're going to create a ditch. You're going to create a low spot. And then when you spray the next set of primer on, everything else is going to be higher than this spot. And then when you go to block it, this is going to potentially be low. And then you're going to have a little dimple. You're going to have a little bit of cellulite. You're going to have a dimple right there. and not the dimples that you like on the cheeks. All right. So you got to be careful just sitting there working in one spot. So let me just get this out. And you just dig, dig, dig. And what you've done, you've made a ditch or a valley or a low spot, whatever. So you just keep working. Now this section right here is radiused. Now, there's some ways to get around that with this block. You can take this block and just raise it up on the edge just a little bit, just to use just a little bit of this quarter edge of this block, right? Like that. And I'm not using the whole flatness of the block. I'm just using the edge of it. Now, I also have some of these, I got some of these that are little flat sticks, like paint sticks, and you can use them as well. I might dig one out, not tonight, but I'll probably dig one out and show you. Or you can use a paint stick, and a lot of people use, ooh, I got to pee. I got to piss. So you can use a paint stick too. There's nothing wrong with using a paint stick, all right? You can use a metal paint stick. Some paint companies make really, really good paint sticks, and then some make some that ain't really so good. Then you can get a metal paint stick. If you got a metal paint stick or a metal ruler, that will work as well, and I'll show you. Let's do that right there. So you got a paint stick, all right? And with the paint stick, you can do the same thing. But when you do a paint stick, if you're gonna use the whole stick, make sure you equalize your pressure on the stick, right? You don't wanna just put pressure on one spot because you might cause some issues. But you can clearly see I'm gonna show you this with one hand so you guys. So clearly, you know, if you was to do this, I'm not gonna do it much, I'm just gonna show you. So you can sit here and you can block with a paint stick. Now you can cut it in half and have a smaller stick, but you can just sit here and just run the paint stick in a cross-hatch pattern like that until you get that radius out. You can do that too. You can use a paint stick. It just depends on you. You know what I mean? Just depends on you. Depends on you. What works for you. What works for me might not work for you. And when you're block sanding, try to set up straight. I know a lot of people want to slouch over, but try to set up straight. Try to keep good posture and still block. You'll thank me later for that, I promise you. Yeah. Yeah, cars. The guide coat, once the guide coat's gone, then you know you're done. Yeah. Yeah. Mop, all day long, mop, while I sing your song. All right, cars. All right, cars, here you go. Look, let me show you. All right, so I was sanding right here, right? So you see the guide coat? You can still see just a little bit of the guide coat, right? And then I'm sanding, and then right there, see, I broke through. See, Mac? And then I broke through right there. That is CRE 921. So I epoxied everything in black to start with, and then I put CRE 321 on top of it. So there's 2 coats of black over bare metal. And then all your body work's done, and then you put CRE 321, which is on top of that. But right here, you can see the guide coat just very faintly right here in this arch. So when I was sitting here blocking this arch out, and right here, all of it was gone, but I had a guide coat right there, and I kept blocking it because I knew I had enough meat on the bone to get it flattened out. So I got the dip flattened out, but I broke through right there in the black epoxy, which I'm still good because bare metal's not showing. And then it's a little thin right there. So the gray epoxy's a little thin right here. You can see the shadow line. So I don't need to block no more right there. I just need to clean these edges up some. But if I just keep going and working my way all the way down the arch or the hump or the contour all the way to the end, then I'm good. And then right here, the same thing. This right here it's like that, right? So if I come in here with this block, well, there's no guide coat on that one. If I come in here with the guide coat on this section right here, and then I start to block, you can clearly see. You can clearly see. Also, a lot of people want to take a soft pad like this and wrap it and do that. And you can, but if there is a dent, what this soft pad is going to do, it's going to ride over it. It's not going to show itself. It's not going to knock the top of it off to show you. And I'm doing this one-handed, and I don't want to do much of it, but I'm kind of just, because I can clean it up after I get both hands on it. But you get the idea when you start using guide coat. And I don't use the rattle can guide coat. I don't like it. A lot of people like it. I don't like it. I like the powder. The powder gets down in the scratches, like saturated it. And then once you come back and then do another grit. So if I was going to do 180 and then guide coat it again and do 320, then all your 180 scratches will have guide coat in it. And then once you sand all the 180 scratches out with 320, now you only have 320 scratches. But since we're going to put at least maybe 2 or 3 coats of primer over this, the 180 is fine. The 180 is fine. We're just getting it where it needs to be. So we got one more session of primer, and that right there will be the final primer. And we'll be ready for sealer and color. So hope that helps somebody out. Oh yeah, no worries. But yeah, see right there, I broke through, but I didn't break through the bare metal. Now, if I would have broke through the bare metal right there, then I need to spot prime this with 2K. See, that's why I use 2K epoxy all the time, corrosion resist. Because if I was to break through right there, I'm okay with it, even though that I'm gonna put CRE 321 down. It's a 2K corrosion resistant epoxy. Now, there's other companies out there that make primer, that make stuff like that as well. I'm just saying that this truck has all PPG on it. So if there was a little bit of bare metal right there, a lot of people use primer surfacer. Well, you ain't supposed to put primer surfacer over bare metal because it don't have no properties to secure it. You know, it's still primer, right? Even though it's a 2K, it's just primer surfacer. So you need to put some kind of 2K epoxy down to seal it. So that's why I just use
CRE 321, which is gray, CR 321 921, which is black, and CRE X21, which is white, and you can mix the white, the black, and the gray to make your own shades of G codes, which G codes is from G1 to G7, which G1 is basically white, G7 is basically black. So you got different shades. So this truck will be sealed in G7, which will be a sealer, and then it'll get black. It'll be blacked out. So that's that. So hope that helps somebody. And like I said, every paint manufacturer has its own ways. I'm just telling you the way I learned, and most of them are the same. Like Sitkins SPI, they have a pot life. So what that means is once you mix it, you have to let it in like an induction time, right? So on SPI, you mix their epoxy, you have an induction time. So you have to give it like a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours. The longer you let it wait, the more UV protection you get, according to SPI, right? So it has an induction time. PPG stuff that I've used does not have an induction time. But I will say this, when I do mix epoxy primer, I mix it and I don't go straight in the booth and spray it. I just don't. So I'll mix it, make sure it's room temperature, 70-some degrees. I'll mix it and I'll let it set for 15, 20 minutes to just let everybody mingle, let everybody get familiar with everybody. You know, let all the boys and the girls get it mingled with everybody. And then I'll mix it up one more time or put it on the shaker and shake it up. Then I'll go in there and spray it. So I know it's 100% mixed, and then we spray it and then we go on for there. So, I hope that helps somebody out on that. There's one more thing I'm gonna say. I haven't seen Nathan in here right quick, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish this episode up. Yeah. So all products need to be the same. So I'm not a big fan of mixing products. So if you want me to spray Tampco, I want to spray Tampco from the beginning to the end. So if you want me to spray Tampco's epoxy primer, if you want me to spray their high build primer, if you want me to spray, I will go from start to finish with that product. If you want me to spray House of Colors, we're gonna go House of Colors from the start to finish. If you want me to spray SPI, we're gonna go, if we're gonna spray SPI, we're going start to finish. If I'm going PPG, we're going start to finish. If we're going Sherwin-Williams, I'm going start to finish. If we're going BSF or Glazerith, we're going start to finish. Don't mix stuff, man. Don't mix it. Don't put one product down and then put another product's color down and then put another product's clear down. And a lot of people will say, well, I like House of Colors orange sherbet. Okay, well, cool. Well, guess what? Other companies have colors that are very, very close to those colors. So don't use like SPI's 2K epoxy and then put House of Colors over top of that and then use Finish One Clear on top of that. You have 3 manufacturers with 3 different products with 3 different chemical makeups laying on top of each other. Right? So if you're gonna use tractor paint, use tractor paint. You know, if you're gonna use whatever you're gonna use that product from start to finish. Because this is what's gonna happen. When you put that product on there, and you've mixed it up, right? You've mixed it up and something goes wrong, you don't know what went wrong. Who are you gonna call to ask what went wrong? You sure to God ain't gonna call House of Colors. You ain't gonna call Jim out at House of Colors and say, hey man, I got this clear that I used and this is what it done. And then Jim from House of Colors is gonna say, well, what base did you use? Oh, I used shop line. Oh, I can't help you. What do you mean you can't help me? I used your clear. Yeah, but you used my clear. You used House of Colors clear over shop line base, which is PPG. I can't tell you what happened. It's like throwing horseshoes and hand grenades. I can kind of speculate on what happened. I can give you my educated guess on it, which is a hypothesis. I can kind of say, well, they didn't like each other, so this is what happened. So you're opening yourself up to a whole bunch of chaos and no answers, and there you are with your product still messed up, and you can't, they're not going to help you, and they won't help. No, they will not help you. They will not. They will tell you to pound sand. They will tell you to pound. Then you're going to get mad, and then you're going to go online and you're going to say House of Colors or Tamco or PPG or Sherwin-Williams or BSF or Glazerus or Global or Sitkins. You're going to talk crap about their product when it wasn't their product because you didn't say, well, I put their product over Shopline, or I put their product over, here's another one. What's the brand that damn AutoZone that's owned by Summit Racing? It's ready to spray out the can. So I know a guy that bought some color from AutoZone, which is that paint shop. I think it's paint shop. And it's ready to spray out the can. They make some pretty colors. It's ready to spray right out the can. He used that, and then he used Finish One 5770 clear over top of it. Shit crawled off like nobody's business. Looked like a fruit roll-up. And he was mad. He cussed out Napa because he used Finish One 570 clear. And Napa pretty much said, well, we can't do nothing with it. So he goes to AutoZone and he cusses them out because they sell shitty paint. Then he called Summit and told them they had shitty paint when realistically it wasn't neither one of them's fault. He's the one that mixed the two products. You know, and everybody gives Build on a Budget a hard time from using Rust-Oleum. There's nothing wrong with using Rust-Oleum. If that's what you're going to use it from start to finish. Now, the only thing that I would do different that Build on a Budget did is I'd have probably put synthetic hardener in it. I'd have put the synthetic hardener in it and I'd have sprayed it. If that's what you want, that's what you want. So I don't know why everybody's being mad at people's like, oh, they're using Sherwin-Williams, or they're using Rust-Oleum, or they're using Shopline, or Omni Plus, or hell, Grow. Grow is the bottom of the barrel for PPG. If you're using that, use it. I don't care. But I will not mix products. The only products that I've ever mixed, the only two products that I ever mixed and had no issues with, absolutely zero, was Tamco and PPG. Absolutely. Now, here's something different. I don't like HP 661 epoxy from Tamco. I don't like it. I'm not saying it's a bad product. Now, Bob, if you're watching this video, forgive me for saying this. I do not dislike HP 661 epoxy. Do not dislike it. It just don't like me. I used HP 661 epoxy, which is a 2K epoxy, and it has a cure time or flash time for 24 hours, 12 or 24 hours. I had to go look at the piece sheet. But whatever it was, I followed it to the letter. And it was over raw metal with 80 grit scratches. Followed it to the letter on the piece sheet. Mixed it, sprayed it, let it lay. Flash times, induction times, whatever it says in the PPG, whatever it says in the piece sheet. I think it says you spray it on there and you got to wait 12 hours before you can top coat it or something like that. Whatever it was, I waited. And it was in the summertime. It wasn't in the blistering summertime. It was like in the spring, but it was pretty good. It was like 80 degrees. I sprayed that stuff down on some Jeep rough country metal fenders. because that's what the guy wanted to use. And then I went to spray bed liner over that 661 epoxy from Tamco. That shit crawled off like fruit roll-ups. It literally, I could peel the epoxy up like a fruit roll-up off of 80 grit scratches. Right hand to Jesus, left hand to Jesus, two hands to Jesus. Whatever, it literally peeled up the bed liner, the Raptor bed liner, and the epoxy. A lot of people put bed liner right over bare metal. You can't do that because bed liner is porous and the water will suck right down to it. That shit peeled off like fruit roll-up. Mad as mad. Literally, I just peeled it off. Now, there's been a lot of speculation on what happened. Moisture, my spraying, you spray too damn heavy, whatever. The guy just bought a small quart. I said, dude, I'm gonna rip all this stuff off. I ripped every bit of it off with a damn flat putty knife. Literally, pressure washed the shit right off. Like I was at the car wash. Just got it back down to bare metal. And that, all it is was them Skyjacker fenders. You know, those rolled fenders for a JK or a YJ or a PJ or a SK or whatever the hell them Jeeps were. 4-door Wrangler. I sanded that shit back down with 80 grit. I put CRE 921 2K epoxy from PPG. I sprayed it on there. I let it flash for 2 hours. You got 7 days. I let it flash for 2 hours. Mixed up another damn thing of bed liner. Sprayed it on there. Then cleared it. Cooked it. The guy kept it until he sold the Jeep. No problems, no. Now, no problems whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying it was the product's fault. I'm not saying it's my fault. I'm just telling you it messed up. So if I get burnt one time, I'm done. I'm not messing with it. I'm not going to try it again. Not going to do it. Now, I have mixed Tamco after that. I have put CRE 921, CRE 321, and CRE X21 down. 2K epoxy. I put that down like nobody's business, right? Let that flash off, either wet on wet or block it or whatever you want to do. And I have put PPG paint over Tamco with no problems. The only thing you have to do is you have to use DT reducer. You can't use Omni Plus. You can't use Shopline. You either have to use a DT reducer or you have to use Tamco's reducer. You can't use universal reducer at damn AutoZone. You can't use that shit because Tamco's products are equal to or greater to PPG's DT line. So you cannot take Tamco's paint and use Shopline reducer. They don't like each other. But you can use Tamco's paint and use DT reducer. They're Deltron. They've changed it now, but you can use Deltron with Tamco and you're fine. Same thing. You can use Tamco's reducer with Deltron paint and 2021 clear and you're okay. But that's it. That's the only ones that I've ever mixed. I've not mixed nothing else. Now, Nathan's in here. Yeah, Nathan's in here. So Nathan asked me a question earlier today. He asked me which one of these guys is right, right? He sent me a video. I'm not going to tell you the video he sent me because I don't want these two knuckleheads to be coming after me because I'm not the one, I promise you. But Nathan sent me a video of two people or a person calling out this other person on some stuff, and he asked me which one's right and which one's wrong. Well, they're both right and they're both wrong. And the reason why is because the one that was doing all the cheek talking did not give all the information. So this is what he said. He was talking about spraying clear coat. So he's talking about clear coat, right? So this is what he asked me. This guy says, There's no way you can stack clear, 5, 6 coats of clear, and the pot life of the clear is 3 hours, and you give 30 minutes in between flash times. You're gonna run out of the pot life before the clear is ready to spray, and it's gonna start hardening before you spray it. He's absolutely right. That is correct. That's 100% right. What's up, Grease Spot? Absolutely 100% right. But what he didn't say is how you do it. When you're spraying multiple layers of clear, right? When you were spraying multiple layers of clear, you're not mixing 4 gallons of clear and then going in there and spraying it. You're not doing it. You're mixing up just enough clear to do 1 session of clear session. That's all you're mixing. So you might mix up 4 32-ounce cups, right? You might mix 4 32-ounce cups and go in there and spray clear on that vehicle. Once you're done in that 1 session, you have no more clear. Now, I don't know how heavy you spray clear or whatever. We're just going to say 4 32-ounce cups, right? You mix up 4 32-ounce cups at the exact same time, right? But here's another thing. If it's 70 degrees and you're using 70-degree hardener and you put 85 reducer in there, guess what? It's the 15-degree rule. Now your flash times and your pot life is increased because you've added a different reducer. So if your pot life is an hour and you put 885 reducer in there, you've increased it by the 15-degree rule. So your pot life is not an hour. It's actually might be an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. I'd have to sit down and do the math on it. But so you have extra time. So when you say there's no way you go in there and you spray clear and you spray it and you wait 30 minutes in between sessions and you'll clear it didn't harden in your cup. You're absolutely right. You're 100% right. But what you didn't say is the rest of the story. Nobody's mixing up 3 gallons of clear at 1 session and going there and spraying a car. They're not doing it. Unless you're at Thomas Buses up here and you're on the assembly line and you got a school bus painted every 18 minutes and they're spraying it out of the 55-gallon drums and it activates when it hits the nozzles. That's the only ones that I know. So when you're spraying clear, what's up, UK? When you're spraying multiple layers of clear, you're mixing the clear to spray that 1 session. I got a video on the 15-degree rule, Grease Spot. So when you go in there and you spray that 1 session of clear and you're done, then your timer starts when you start spraying, not when you finished. So when you start spraying clear, your timer is started. And then you come out, you clean your gun, you can clean your gun out, rinse your cups out, throw them liners away, get new liners, whatever you want to do, and then you get ready, and then you wait about 25 minutes, and then you go in there, you check your panel, you go in there and do a panel check, you check it on some paper, you touch it with your finger like I did in that video the other day to see if it's stringy, right? If it's stringy. So if you put your finger on it and it comes up and it's like string cheese, it's not ready. It's not ready to get back on. But if you put your finger on there and you lift it up and it prints, it leaves a fingerprint on the paper, then you're ready to go in there and spray. So around the 20-minute mark, around the 25-minute mark, you go check your panel in multiple locations because it's airflow. Airflow changes how stuff dries, how fast it dries, how slow it dries, the efficiency of it dries. All that makes a difference. So you have to go check it in multiple places. And once you do that, you should be around the 25-minute mark. Then you go in there, humidity and temperature. Panel temperature, all that stuff matters. How you sprayed, if you spray heavy, if you spray light. It's all, look, there's more to it than just going in there and spraying and say, oh, look what I did. So when people get on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and they give out this information, they're only giving you the narrative that they want you to hear and not giving you all the information. I will give it all to you. I don't give a shit. Then when you're around the 20 to 25-minute mark and you think your panel's good it's gonna take you about 5 minutes to go in there and mix up some clear. Now that comes in handy when I was talking about your helper. If you had a helper, like me, I was talking about helping Mac, you have your helper get your paint mixed up. Your clear mixed up. So you mix all your clear, okay, so I just went in there and I sprayed 4 32-ounce cups, right, whatever. I'm just throwing a number out there. So you mix up, you clean your paint gun, you get it ready, you mix up 4 32-ounce cups, you make sure they're good and mixed up, and then you let them set for like 5 minutes. So everybody's all good where they're at. You go in the booth, you put your gun on there, you start after it. You put your another coat of clear on there. So that's your second coat of clear, and you've waited about 35 minutes. Right? Then you're done, right? Yeah. Then you're good, right? You got your second coat on, and now you at the 1 hour. Now you get that done. It's probably going to take you maybe 10 minutes. I don't know, 10 to 15, probably not even 15 minutes. Maybe 10 to 12 minutes for you to clear a whole car. Maybe 15 minutes, depending on what you're clearing. Hell, I'll be generous and give you 20 minutes. So you got 20 minutes and you got the whole damn car cleared. You come out, you clean your paint guns, right? Your flash time started when you started spraying. So you already 20 minutes in your spray time on a 30-minute flash time. So you only got like 10 minutes to get back in there to check your panel, plus or minus. You clean your paint gun and everything, you wait another 10 minutes. So now you round 30-minute mark, you go in there and check it. Now, here's where you gotta be careful. You've already put 2 coats on there. So now it's heavy, right? So now you're using, if it's 70-degree booth, you're using 85 or 95 reducer. So what he was talking about in the video, the lower level of the clear is already crusted over, and you put more clear on top of that and the solvents can't get out. You're absolutely right. You're exactly right. You're right. If you're using 70-degree reducer and 70-degree temperature. But if I'm using 95-degree reducer, it's gonna stay open longer. But it stays open longer where my solvents can get out, and it's still enough where it can hang on to each other. So even though I put 1 coat of clear down and I'm using 85 reducer on the first layer of clear, and I spray the second layer of clear and I'm using 90 reducer, or you can mix them. I know a guy that taught me some stuff. He mixed his clear and he sprayed Glazerous. At Petty's, we sprayed Glazerous. And when he started stacking clear, he figured out a formula that worked for him because he'd been spraying Glazerous for 25 years. He would mix like 885 or not 885, that's PPG, but he would mix 85 reducer and Glazerous, but I don't know the number, Mac probably knows it, and he would use 95 reducer and he would mix them 50-50. And he said that would help him, and it actually did. So I do the same thing on PPG stuff. The second coat, I'll mix it half and half, like 95 and 85. And then, so your first coat of clear's got 85, your second coat of clear's got 85 in a mixture, right? Or just say whatever. So it's still leaving it open where your gases can get out, your gases and your solvents can get out, so you don't have solvent pop, right? Not fish eyes. Fish eyes is from oil. Stop saying fish eyes is from spraying clear and letting the clear harden over before you get that. That's fish eyes is oil and petroleum-based contaminants. Ain't got nothing to do with it. Pop, solvent pop, is from where it crushes over and the solvents can't get out, and it pops a hole. That's solvent pop. That's the difference, right? And dieback's a whole nother thing. Dieback's a whole nother damn can of worms, right? We're not talking about dieback. So now I got my first layer of clear and I got my second layer of clear on there, right? And we're talking about high solid clears. And when I'm talking about high solids, I'm talking anything that's 55 to 60% solids plus. Not this watered down shit, Nasons, not this finished one shit, none of this thin shit. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about production clear. I'm talking about high solid clears, right? High solids. 50 to 60% solids. Then you come in there with your third coat, you do the exact same thing you did on your first 2 coats, and you spray it again, and then you flash it. And every time that you add another layer of clear, you cut your reducer down more. So each time you do it, let's say the next time you do, you do 3 parts 95 reducer and 1 part 85. And then, or, 2 and 2. And then the next one you go 2 to 1. 2 parts 95, 1 part 85. And then the last coat of clear you put on there, it's all 95. I don't use 98 reducer because 98 reducer's got retarder in it, and that lets it extend up to like 110, 115 degrees, right? And you can stack 5 to 6 coats of clear in one session. That's how you get away. I don't want to say get away. That's how you execute that to get stacks layers of clear. Now, they also said that they had a theory that he's only putting 3 coats of clear on there, cutting the camera off, wet sanding and polishing it, and wet sanding and doing a flow coat. I promise you, they're not doing flow coats. I don't do flow coats. I don't like flow coats. That's a whole nother can of worms. So the reason why I'm bringing this up has nothing to do with the guy that posted the video. So if the guy posted the video comes after me, blow it out your ass. I'm answering a question that Nathan Price asked me. Nathan Price asked me a question, who's right and who's wrong? They're both right and they're both wrong because they're only giving you a portion of the formula and you can't figure out the answer with only half of the portion of the... You can't figure out the whole answer if you don't know all the ingredients. So that's how you stack clear. So with that, that's how you stack clear. I know Freddie Carson said the most clear he's ever stacked in one session was 7 coats. 7 coats, right? Right? So the most I've ever done is 6. And somebody, and Nathan also asked, said, well, they said you're going to sand off 5 coats of clear. There's no way you're going to sand off 5 coats of clear. One meal is 25. One meal is the thickness of a cigarette pack. If you're going to do a lot of wet sanding and polishing, you need to get a micro gauge, a micrometer, so you can check, or a meal thickness, and check and how it is from start to finish. So I know I got long-winded on that right there, but Nathan Price asked me that question earlier. What's up, Square Body? Nathan Price asked me that earlier, and he wanted to know about flash times, pot life. So yes, if you mix some products up and it says that it has, what's up, Gary? What's up, Square Body? If you're mixing paint products and it says that it's a 2.5 hour pot life to spray it out of that pot, meaning the cup, that's absolutely right. You got 2.5 hours to spray that product out of that cup. Absolutely. Don't put it in the refrigerator to slow it down because you're killing it when you do that. Don't do that, right? Don't do that, right? So, and then bring it out, put it on a hot plate. Back in the day, guys used to do lacquer thinner, and they used to do lacquer paint and enamel that way, and whatever. So, but you can also mix up paint that's, products. You got the paint or the clear, like the clear coat, or the 2K epoxy, or the sealer, and it's 70-degree hardener, and you can put 95-degree reducer in it at 70 degrees, and your flash times, your pot life is increased. What is the best amount of clear to do? Cause these automakers seem like a spit. All right, so I will tell you this, cars. I had a buddy of mine buy a brand new 2025 Trail Boss pickup truck. Brand spanking new off the showroom floor. Brand new. $90,000 truck. Brand new truck. We put a meal gauge on it. To see how thick the paint was. It was 2.1 mils. Brand new from the factory. So that's primer, that's epoxy primer, That's paint and clear coat. Less than 3 meals. Less than 3 meals. Less than 3 meals. So that's all the UV protection you got. So that's where your UV protection comes, is in your clear coat. So yeah. Anyways, boys and girls, I've been on here 74 minutes. I hope that answers somebody's question. Well, I appreciate that, Square Body, but unless it's something major, Square Body, unless it's something major, you won't be getting nothing painted from me this year. You might be getting it painted from me towards the end of the year. All right, so let me, so Square Body, let me tell you this. One coat of CRE 321 is 14 mils wet. It's about 9 to 10 dry. So when I put one coat of CRE 321 down, it's about 12 to 14 mils wet. And then when it dries, it's about 10. You lose about 4.5 to 5 mils in solvent. So let's just say I get 10 mils of high build primer. So if I put, so for like this door right here, let's just say a bare door, right? That's why I don't use a lot of that's why I don't use a lot of filler, right? So let's just say this door, right? I strip this door down to bare metal. I put 2 coats of CRE 921 down, right? And I sprayed it 2 to 1 to 1. And that just gives me surface, right? Just to cover all the raw metal. Then I mix up 321, which is gray, and I mix it 2 to 1.5, and I spray it with a 2.0 tip, and I put 3 coats on. That's like 30 mils wet. And you're like, holy shit. So if I do 10 mils and 10 mils, that's 30 mils dry. And then I come back and I block it with 180, and then a lot of it's on the floor, right? And then I come back and I spray it again, and I spray CRE 321, and I mix it 2 to 1 and some change. Like, I make it a primer surfacer, but it's still a 2K primer. And I mix it 2 to 1 to 1.5. And then I use like a 1/4 tip. I'm not really getting build, I'm just getting surfaced. I'm just getting a cover. And then I spray 3 good medium wet coats on there. I got at least, I'm going to say at least 8 to 10 mils of cover. But it's a whole lot better than packing a lot of body filler, right? And then I come back and I water sand that, and that sun gun is just as straight as it can be. Just as straight as it can be. Now, there's some things that, you know, if somebody wants them like 100, like just crazy, I have skimmed them. Like I've skimmed whole vehicles with good filler. And everybody's like, oh, that's a Bondo Queen. No, once it's all said and done, it might be less than 1/8 of an inch, you know, to feel. So it just depends on what you're working on. Yeah, clear. Look, if you can't stack clear, don't try to stack clear on a client's vehicle. Stack it on something else. I was scared to stack clear. I would spray 3 coats of clear, and then I would go back and I would sand it with 1500, and then I would do a flow coat. But then when I went to like higher learning, when I went to restoration classes, taught by Charlie Hutton down at Orlando, he gives you the science on why you should not do flow coats, because you're actually watering down your stuff, and that's a whole nother subject. We're not going to get into that. Y'all paint boys can have it. So, but anyways, boys and girls, I appreciate, damn, it's 8:30. I'm going to go get some taco soup. Boys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We are back on the C10, and we are going to finish this juke joint. And then probably about mid-January, I got something coming you boys is going to really enjoy. I got something coming mid-January. You boys is really going to enjoy. You're really going to enjoy it. And then around February, I got something for you Ford boys coming. And then we also got the 55 Metro coming. So I appreciate you, every one of you, boys and girls. Remember what I said, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own. And I'm going to try to go get a damn haircut one day this week, too, before Christmas. Maybe Santa Claus will bring me something special. Boys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you. Remember I said, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch or sweeping off anybody else. I appreciate every single one of you. Remember I said, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first. At Lucy and Drag. Peace, and chicken grace to man.